if one of your New Year's resolutions is to have a better trained dog, you are in luck this morning.
That's right. Certified dog trainer with So Much Potential is Lisa DeSacney. She joins us now with some tips that can be very useful for you. Good morning, Lisa, and Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you. I love being back.
I know. And you brought Dawson with you today.
I did. Yeah. He's very excited.
Yes.
Oh, but he's
very well behaved,
very
though.
attentive, too. Yes.
All right, so tell us, give us some tips. Let us focus on what we know about behavior first.
Sure.
Okay.
You know, this time of year, everybody loves New Year's resolutions. But the problem is, there's a lot of times they're just so big and they're so vague. They're not measurable.
Right.
And so these are things, you know, we know. Let's think about this as a dog trainer and think about, okay, so we've got goals, right?
Right.
Which is in essence what these are. There's several things that we can do when we think about what behavior is to help you to be more successful. The first one is, let's stop being so overarching and broad, and let's bring that down to a micro level. We call that splitting instead of lumping when we're talking about training. So there's lots of steps within that. If you want your dog to be better on a leash, if you want your dog to have better manners when people come into the home, there's a lot of steps that lead up to that. So help yourself out by doing small steps and maybe weekly goals instead of lofty goals. That way too, when you've got small steps, you're going to be reinforcing yourself and you're going to be reinforcing your pet more often. And we know that behavior that's reinforced is the behavior that becomes stronger. So the more often that we can do that and have opportunities to do that, the better your chance for changing that.
I love it. She's got it down to a science, doesn't she?
Right. Well, it's funny because, I mean, I know for humans, I know one of those best-selling books, I'm seeing everybody this time of year, like Atomic Habits, they're talking about how you break it down to these tiny little things. When it comes to behavior and creating habits with our pets, what's a great place to start, Lisa?
So to start with where you're at and to know the pet that's right in front of you. Just to say, well, I've got a golden retriever, or I've got a lab, or I've got a Maltipoo.
Yeah.
Every dog is an individual, so you need to work with where you're at, but you also need to think about your lifestyle, because your lifestyle may not be the best for doing certain behaviors. Let's say you want to do sports with your dog, or you want your dog to be a therapy dog. Well, you know what? Not every dog is cut out for that. So really, you know, start with where you're at and look at your individual dog.
Because you're right, they all have different personalities, and so you have to really look inside, I guess, for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Genetics is a big component of it. Yeah, the dog breed, the dog's behavioral history, all kinds of stuff that go into that.
Well, and it's fascinating, too, because when you look at Dawson, he's so attentive. It's like he's waiting for like his next command, like the next thing that's going to be happening
Or the
here.
treat.
Or the treat. But I know that you have mentioned before, too, it's not like leading with the treat, that sort of thing. It's just sort of like that reinforcement. But I mean, a dog like Dawson, who, you know, you found out that he actually deals with some anxiety issues, too.
He has big time, and people, if you want to go on my website, it's called the Dawson Untold Story. I need to write an update to it now. But for me, this is a calm environment. So I can take him to places and you would think he's like a therapy dog material. But I know there are things that are going to be just way over the top for him.
Yeah, it triggers
and
that
it's
anxiety.
very difficult, even on anti-anxiety meds.
Yeah.
And so he does really well as long as he's on his meds, but I know his limits. And so when I got him, I was thinking I'd love to do therapy work. I want to take him to dog events. I want to take him to different parks and do things. That's not doable for him. So he has fantastic quality of life because I know how to manage and how to set him up for success as best I can. And still give him lots of fun and lots of love in his life. So
great.
absolutely giving.
Dawson.
And like right now, we were just talking before we went on air, this is a morning that he needs a little bit extra help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you may see me giving him more treats.
You have to know what
because-
triggers them, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, and he's totally reflecting your energy too, and I know that's a big part of it. And Lisa, if somebody's
Right.
watching this and they want to get going with their pets, where can they learn about So Much Potential?
I have a website. It's SoMuchPETential.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as So Much PETential. So yeah, I would love to connect.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know you're going to get help with Lisa, right?
We will for
She's got it
sure.
down to a science.
Thanks, Dawson. Thank you, Lisa.
So much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.